So as I mentioned in my first video, today I'm going to be showing you my strategy a bit, my idea of my strategy, and basically what I do on a daily basis. So let's go to a certain date. I mean, like today, for example, I took a successful trade. We're gonna look at that for you guys. So, as I said, I trade the 5-minute orb. I didn't go deeper into that. I just said that I trade the 5-minute orb, and look, today's trade, $500, and I'll explain to you everything about risk, where I put my stop loss, I'm just going to explain everything to you guys. So, the strategy basically consists of trading when market opens, obviously. So we have 9:30 market open. What we are going to do is we are going to mark the range from the first 5-minute, basically. So if we go on the 5-minute, we can mark it in a lot easier. So you got your first 5-minute candle. You mark the high and the low of that candle. Once that's done, you jump to the 1-minute. You jump to the 1-minute and look for entries. Now, obviously, yeah, this is the 5-minute orb, so you just look for you look for a candle close below or above the range. So usually my rules are I usually do not trade in the first 15 minutes of market open anyways, right? So as you see, usually price tends to stick into the range in the first 15 minutes of market open. This is actually this is the 15-minute, this is where it closes. As you see, it stayed in the range. Now, obviously that's my number one rule. Let's say I didn't go by that. Would have I entered here? No. Why? Because I didn't get a candle close. I got a wick above the range, and it came back and closed below the range. So that is obviously invalidating the breakout. It is not a full breakout. Now, the trade that I took today was, first of all, there was a candle close below the range, right? There was a candle close below the 5-minute range that I had set myself. Now, is it after the first 15 minutes of market open? Yes, it is. It is after the first 15 minutes of market open. So we're good for an entry. Now, I entered not directly off. Let's say, yes, okay, of course, I jumped off directly to the next candle. But what did I wait for this candle to do? I waited for this candle to enter a bit into the range before it went down. So I waited for a little retest of the range, a little retest, and I entered, if I'm not mistaken, just a bit, like literally a little bit below the range. So like you see this little space here. So I saw the test, it was coming back down, and I entered around here. Let's say, for example, it was something around there. I can actually calculate that exactly. Wait, I got it a little lower. Yeah, because you guys can see here my entry price. So I entered a little bit later than I thought I did. Around 453, right there, around there. Now, what are my rules? Where is my risk? Where is my profit? I've backtested this strategy so many times. I've backtested it from the last year, for the last 2 years, and the most consistent risk and profit that I got was a 15 pip risk, and I'm going for a 25 pip profit. Now, I've backtested this so many times, and these are the results. I mean, these are what I use, basically, because they work so consistently. I backtested, my God, literally years of data, and this is the best. 15 pips to my stop loss, 25 pips to my take profit. It usually always works. Now, usually I won't, it depends. Will I take another trade? Let's say, okay, we tapped into here and we broke the range again, right? Because we were in the range here, price was inside the range, and we broke it again and we stayed below. So that 1 minute candle stayed below. I could be looking at entry here, right? Look, it went by my bias. We waited for the price to um, to come back a little bit. It doesn't necessarily have to go back into the zone. It goes back just a little bit. We could have entered around here, and we would have had the same result, hit our take profit. We would have had 2 wins today. But I usually conform myself with only one. And usually, if I do lose a trade, I might look for another opportunity to enter later on. Not too later on, but I mean like within the next hour or so, I'm looking for another A plus setup, but it has to be A plus setup. It has to be an A plus setup. If it's not, I am not taking another trade. I take my loss for the day, and I'm out. And so, what is helping me become so profitable? I know you guys just see a trade here, but I've had other accounts that I'm very, very profitable with. I've got funded accounts, so the reason why I have become super profitable is because I set myself limits. So if we go here, I have my global risk settings. All right, that's one. Okay, that's one that I have. So automatically when I'm in a trade, I have my 300, which is my $300 of risk, which is 15 pips exactly. It's 15 pips because one contract, one pip, let's say, on the Nasdaq is $20. So every pip is $20. That's for obviously if you buy just one contract. And then the same goes here. Profit, I go and search for $500 profit, which obviously today was absolutely perfect. It hit my TP, super happy. But that is obviously because, right, 25 pips times 20, because it's $20 a pip, $500. Now, here, this is very important. This is a lot more important than this here. Why? Because this is my personal daily loss limit and my personal daily profit limit target. So why do I set these up? So I don't overtrade or I don't lose too much. So here we have our personal daily loss. So I have for myself, which is pretty ideal, if I lose 2 trades, let's say I had 2 A plus setups, they have to be A plus. I'm not taking a trade if they're not A plus setups. I had 2 A plus setups. For some unknown reason, they didn't go my way. Maybe news, maybe I didn't check the news. Anything, right? They didn't go my way. It didn't hit full TP. It's only 2 trades, and I'm only down $600. And that will liquidate me and block. So I'm blocked for the day. After I lose 600, so that means 2 losses, I'm out. I won't be taking any more trades for the day, and it will liquidate me. But then now, let's say, usually I won't usually get to 1500 because I usually don't take more than 2 trades a day. But let's say I really do have 3 A plus setup trades and they go my way. I put 1500. You might be asking why 1500, why 3 successful trades? Well, because with Top Step, there's that consistency rule, right, of 50%. So you can't have a day over the total amount that you make, right? So let's say obviously the profit target for a 50K account in Top Step is 3,000. So I can't have a day over 1,500. So I'm gonna avoid making more than 1,500 because then it won't be valid and I'll have to wait more days and I'll have to trade a little bit more until I can be funded, which I don't want. I just want to get funded right away so that I can start gaining capital. So this is honestly one of my best. So it does the same thing. It liquidates and it blocks. So these are super important. These are more important than these. These I've put them in. Why? Because it's just a lot easier for me. I just enter and I don't have to put my stop loss, my risk, and my profit. So I just have it right there. It's not really necessary. You don't have to. If you work with the pips, you go ahead, do your own thing. I just feel it's a lot easier. But this is super important, so that you don't blow your account, right? So you're not blowing accounts left and right, and it's honestly it's one of the best settings you can use, and I'm glad Top Step have it, and it's really easy, really. Like you literally just enter the number you want, 600, and you put liquidate or block. There's different options, right? Do nothing, maybe it won't do anything, it'll just warn you. Liquidate, it will probably just completely liquidate you and will not block you for the day, but I like to put liquidate and block so that it liquidates me. It takes me out of the trade that I'm in. I'm done, and it blocks me for the day, so I have to wait for the next trading day. And it's obviously same thing for here. You adjust, blah blah blah. Then these are, I don't really trade any other symbols really, so there's no need. Then you can also put this maximum trades per day. I didn't really put it because I have everything set already, so my maximum probably trades per day will probably be like 3 max. But it's not really necessary. The week one neither. It's really pretty much useless. And I like to use these because it helps a lot for not blowing accounts left and right. But I mean, with this strategy that I'm using, it hasn't liquidated me and blocked me yet. So we're looking pretty good. So yeah. So basically, that is the strategy. I don't think I'm missing anything. Just let me think, because I do have a couple of rules when it comes to trading my different strategy. There was something that I miss, and it's very important. So what is really, really important is, obviously you guys get the main concept, right? I mean, the main concept of the strategy, which is, if I wasn't 100% clear with everything, right, so we have our opening range, whatever. We have our opening range here, okay? And obviously, if it breaks below the range, you go short. I forgot to explain that for, let's say, if you're a beginner and you're listening to these. If it does go short, so let's say the price is moving downwards, and a candle closes below the range, we go for short. If it goes above, we go for longs. It's pretty simple. And another concept that I'll try to find an example for you guys. I'm not sure which day. There's a couple of days that it happens. It doesn't happen often, but let's say, for example, you're trading the 5-minute orb, and let's see if it did it that day. So we have, where's 9:30? So we have our 9:30 candle. 9:30 candle right here. I don't remember if it happened yesterday or it was a couple of days ago. I'd have to, well, we'll check now to see if it happens. First, okay, it wasn't this day. Basically, what I'm trying to find you guys is a trade where, obviously, I have that rule where I don't trade in the first 15 minutes, right? What if price is gone? What if price is not in the opening range as we hit? Let's see, no, that's not the one. It's right here. Okay, today, that was the day then. Okay, so 35, we jumped down to the 1 minute. Oh my god, so shit. I think this was the day. So this was the second, which was Tuesday. Okay, so we go here. Sorry if this is very slow for you guys. So let's say, yeah, I go by my rules. Price was above the range after the first 45. So what do you do in this circumstance? What do you do? Usually, I'm not sure. I don't think I took this trade on Tuesday though, because sometimes it won't work. I mean, you backtest so many years of data that most of the time, this is the result. I'm just giving you these this example because it's the closest one I have, because I knew it happened this week. I don't think it was a good trade though. Let me see. So let's say, okay, we have our 5-minute range. I'm not trading within the first 15 minutes of market open. Price has left after the 15 minutes. So we've hit 15 minutes right here, right on this candle right here. And price closes completely above the range. So we're not in the range anymore. What do? I've tested it, and literally, if I'm not mistaken, I have it written down here in my book. Just give me a second. No kidding. Literally, here it is. 80% of the time I've calculated during years of backtesting, that once the candle is above the range, what sort of trade are we looking for? Sometimes you could just say, you know what, I won't trade today. I don't feel safe trading. It's already escaped the orb. I'm done. I'm out. I'm not going to trade for the day. That's very smart. That's really, really smart. But after backtesting this, and I've seen that it's very green. I mean, the results speak for themselves. The number speaks for themselves. 80% of the time, when price is above this range, and we set, let's say we are trending upwards, the trend is usually going to continue. So we are going to continue moving upwards. If there was such a strong market open, right? We had such a strong market open. Look, we went and just fucking flew up, right? So we flew up. I'm trading on that 45-minute candle. So this candle, yes, it doesn't matter if it's bearish or it's bullish. It doesn't matter if it's going upwards or downwards. What is the actual trend at the moment? We're heading upwards because we're creating higher highs and higher lows. Higher highs, higher low. So we are going to want to continue that. And so where do I enter my trade? Literally, I could enter the trade right away. Right away when the 45-minute candle opens, I could enter right away. So let me set that up for you guys. So wait, it should be around there. Okay, it doesn't matter. Anyways, you guys get the point. It's 15. So if you would have entered right away, look, it would have went almost to your stop here. 25, sorry. So that's your TP. I don't know why it's not. Okay, it was getting exact. So you're going to want to continue the trend. So you go right here. You could have entered a little bit lower. You could have entered right on the candle when it opens. Usually that's what I do. Right when the 45-minute candle opens, I press either buy or sell depending on where it's going. Now, it would have been the same thing if the price would have been going downwards. So let's say it would have been, we would have been down, and we're around here at the price. We're going to want to go for shorts right after the 45, right after the 15 minutes, right? So on that 9:45 candle, we're entering right away. We're entering right away, and we continue the trend. So that's basically, that's the exception to the rule, right? That's exception because normally, most of the time, price in the first 15 minutes is still in the range, or it's like maybe a little tick above, or it's still going. But usually, when price goes and is out of the range, it's usually far away. So look, it's super far away. We're not even close to the range anymore. And that just means that we're going to continue the trend. So we continued the trend up to, it would have been, look at that. You would have gotten very good risk to reward there. So, but that's typically the only thing, the exception that comes with this strategy. And I backtested this so many times. I've been super profitable with it. So there's absolutely no worries about that. Now, in terms of August, August price action hasn't been great. I've been able to somewhat be profitable anyways, but it's been very, very choppy markets. I've lost more than I usually do, um, in in terms of me backtesting, right? Because I mean, as I mentioned before, I had just been paper trading before, right? So, and once you become profitable paper trading, you basically you can go ahead and become profitable, um, trading on with prop firms and or with your real capital. Um, but I recommend starting with prop firms first, not to risk your own money right away. Um, but yeah, I mean August in terms of back when I've back tested, just the summer, the months in summer, right? So like June, July, August are very, very difficult to trade in. Very, very difficult. I found that out. Now September started and we've had a lot better price action, and I mean it's a lot better in September obviously than it was in August, and but yeah, so that's basically, I mean, that's basically my strategy. So it's the 5 minute orb, um, and once again, uh, as I explained, I mean, there's so many people that use the orb strategy. Some use the 15, some use the 30, um, and if you go and check any mentors, right, that really talk about it or that really use it, they'll have their own strategy, right? They'll have their own ways of of using the strategy. They'll have their own way of how much they risk, how they use it, what's their confluences, do they use other confluences. I necessarily don't use any confluences besides that, um, really, because it's such a simple strategy, and it works literally so many times. It's just it's the number speaks for itself. Like, I mean, I've tested it so many times. Um, like I have my book here of literally just green, 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 um, and it's super super effective strategy. But um, if you guys go back test it, maybe you can catch different things, different confluences, different ways of trading the strategy, right? I took a strategy of different influencers, right? Different influencers that use the orb. They have different concepts, different ways they use it. Do I go exactly by what they do? No, because it's their strategy. They figured it out. Worked they worked out endless hours, to perfect their strategy. And so I don't know exactly everything about their strategy, right? And will exactly their strategy work for me? No. So that's why I go and back test. I figure stuff out, and um, after that, I basically have my own personalized strategy, and that's what I recommend most of you guys doing. You start with the idea of a strategy. It could be anything, trend lines, whatever. That doesn't matter, the strategy. And you adapt it to you. You adapt it to your strategy, right? You adapt it to your confluences, whatever you want, and whatever makes you profitable more than anything else, right? Whatever you think um, makes you will make you a profitable trader. If you see, like, you can go back test my strategy right now. Go back test it for the last year or so with all my confluences. Maybe you'll find something else. Maybe you'll find a different confluence that I probably didn't spot, right? Because maybe you have maybe a different mentor, right? And he has different ways of trading, and he sees different things, and right, we're all different, right? We all have our own strategy, our own idea. So so that's basically mine. Plain and simple. It's fuck. I mean, it really is beginner friendly. I mean, there's nothing complicated about this strategy whatsoever. I mean, it's really simple. 5 minutes. You wait for the first candle open. You stay patient for the first 15 minutes, and yeah, wait patient for a breakout, and then you enter the trade. And but I mean, besides all of this, besides all the strategy talk and everything, at the end of the day, what's going to make you profitable is not the strategy, right? The strategy is not going to make you profitable. What's going to make you profitable is your discipline. You know, if you can't control your discipline, you'll never become profitable, because technically you can't control your emotions. So, you know, you see the market, oh my God, it's going up and down. Let's say you enter a trade, you see price go up and down, you're losing yourself, and you see the money, and let's say you get one lucky trade, you're like, oh wow, okay, I can do that again then, and you just enter a bunch of trades, you take 25 trades a day, and you know, it's just, that's not the way to go. You have to be disciplined, go by your rules, and that's what I mean by being disciplined too, right? Is following your plan, going by your plan, right? You set up your rules, you set up your strategy, and you go with it. All right, and not because, oh my God, it's news. I'm going to predict where price is going to end up, right? There's no need. There's no need to do that. Don't do that, right? If you have a plan, stick to it, and that's how you're going to become profitable. All about discipline. It really is all about discipline. It has nothing to do, like, the strategy is literally not even 10% of everything, right? Discipline takes up just everything. If you're disciplined, you'll become a profitable trader. So learn to control yourself, learn to control your feelings, and you should be good. Because, I mean, I've explained it in the previous video. I was talking about all of this and how it took not too much time for me to honestly to learn this and to become profitable, because I had a very disciplined lifestyle. I'm a very disciplined person in general, and so yes, at the beginning you get a little greedy. I mean, at the beginning, every trader gets greedy. Um, they see price, they see the money value to it, and they go insane, right? And they just want to get rich quick. And everybody has that feeling when they start trading. It's normal. It's completely normal. But as you go on, as you learn, and as you become, you know, a profitable, like, as you go on, right, in the markets and everything, and you're looking at different strategies, you're working this, you're working that. As you move on, you will see that discipline is the main thing. Everybody will tell you that. Every influencer out there says the same thing. It's all about discipline. It's all about controlling your emotions. And that's just basically it, guys. I mean, look, tomorrow I'm probably going to be doing a video on me live trading. So I'm obviously not going to live trade, but I'm going to show you what I basically do on a daily basis in terms of trading. And I'll post that as well after this video. This video is going to go up now. I'm going to post it on right now. And yeah, so there's my strategy, guys. You asked for it. You're going to see me in action in the next video. You'll see me in action with all the confluences, everything, me working my way. And just so you guys have an idea, right, of it live, so that you really feel, okay, it either works. I mean, I don't know if tomorrow it's going to work or not, right? The market's unpredictable. Will my strategy work tomorrow? I don't know. Is there a high possibility chance it will? Of course. Why? Because I backtested it, and I'm going to go by my plan, and I mean, I backtested it in the high percentage. There's a high percentage of it that is green, right? It works. But is that necessarily the reason why I'm going to have a green day tomorrow? No. But what do I feel? I feel confident. I feel confident in my strategy. I'm very disciplined. So I'm super positive for tomorrow. I'm super positive that I'm going to give you guys kind of like show you guys, you know, what, like, how I trade, and you guys will see, and you'll hopefully It's going to be a green day, and I'm going to give you guys confidence to go and say, okay, wow, this really works. I mean, this guy is super disciplined. He went by his plan, and I mean, his strategy is good, right? Okay, well, my strategy is good. That's great and all, but I mean, what really is important is my discipline. I'm going to take a trade tomorrow, and if I lose it, I'm going to wait for the next A plus setup. And if there's not an A plus setup, then I'm going to be right on the day. Does it bother me? Of course it doesn't. I went by my plan, which makes me happy. So I'll go and give you that video tomorrow, guys, and yeah, that's it. So rewind this video if you didn't understand different concepts. Just the video's here, right? It's not going anywhere. Be my guest, rewind the video, go check out what I've said, take notes, and yeah, move on to the next video if you've understand it, and you'll see how I trade in real time. All right, guys, take care.